At the heart of the sister wives saga is the emotional roller coaster caused by separation. The reality of these relationships is often complicated. Cody's relationship with his wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, is anything but ordinary. Over time, as Christine moves on with her life, there's an evident sense of finality that is set in. The echoes of the past linger as these women grapple with their individual decisions and paths forward. Cody's attempts to hold everything together seem less The emotional challenges that these women face go beyond mere separation. It's about identity, autonomy, and freedom. Cody has been at the center of this family's universe, but now, as things begin to unravel, his role as the patriarch appears less relevant. This shift is painful, not just for him, but for the wives who must come to terms with what their futures will look like without the man they've known for so long. The tension in these moments is palpable. Their journey is one of survival, not just I. Each woman must confront the reality of their situation. For some, this means acknowledging the fractures in their relationships with Cody and accepting that things may never go back to the way they once were. For others, it means finding new paths, embracing the changes that life is throwing their way. And all the while, the bonds they once shared with each other are shifting, evolving, and sometimes even breaking down. The complexity of these emotional shifts is what makes Sister Wives so compelling. Segment 2: Christine's Bold Move. Christine's decision to leave Flagstaff and start anew with David marks a significant shift. The journey across the country, with Christine and David driving the moving van, reveals a sense of freedom that many of the other wives are struggling to achieve. The idea of independence is especially powerful for Christine, as she speaks candidly about the immense change she is embracing. Moving on becomes the defining theme of her life. It's as if she is washing away the years of emotional baggage and toxic. Christine's bold decision to step away from the life she once knew is not just a physical move, it's an emotional one. It's a statement of autonomy, a declaration that she is no longer defined by the past or by the family dynamics that have held her captive. As she drives across the country, you can feel the weight of her decision. She's not just leaving a home, she's leaving a life that no longer serves her. This is Christine's moment of reclamation. It's about more than just a fresh start in a new place. It's about the freedom to make choices for herself, to define her future on her terms. The journey may be literal, but it is also deeply symbolic. It's a physical representation of the emotional journey she's undertaken over the past few years. Her decision to leave Flagstaff, to leave Cody, is a powerful moment in her life, one that marks a new chapter of independence, strength, and self-discovery. As Christine and her family embark on their new life, you sense the overwhelming weight that these constant shifts have placed on her over the years. Each new adventure seems to open up a world of new possibilities, but it's not without its challenges. Leaving behind everything she's known takes incredible courage. It's easy to feel the fear and excitement that come with such a drastic change. The unknown can be terrifying, but Christine seems ready for whatever lies ahead. She's no longer shackled by her journey is an inspiration to anyone who has ever felt trapped by their circumstances. It's a reminder that it's never too late to make a change, to start fresh, and to reclaim your life. For Christine, this is not just about leaving a relationship or a place. It's about taking control of her future and finding the strength to be herself, unapologetically. For Janelle, the move to North Carolina represents a personal transformation. Leaving behind years of a complicated relationship, she's stepping into a world where she can live her truth, away from the prying eyes of the family. However, Janelle's experiences shed light on the loneliness that comes with such transitions. Despite her independence and confidence, there's a lingering sense of uncertainty about the future. As she navigates her new life, there's also a palpable yearning for company. Janelle's reflections on past relationships, especially with Cody, reveal a woman who has grown tired of the emotional imbalance that marked her marriage. Her independence, once a cornerstone of her identity, now feels even more vital as she embarks on a new chapter, away from Cody's influence. Mary's role in the family dynamic is just as complex. She finds herself caught between past memories and her hopes for the future. However, the overwhelming sense of betrayal and neglect she feels is almost impossible to ignore. Her relationship with Cody was long defined by a lack of emotional connection, and as time passes, it becomes increasingly clear that she is no longer willing to settle for a half lived life. Her departure from the family's traditional roles speaks volumes about her Despite these feelings, Mary holds on to a fragment of hope, perhaps an illusion, that things can return to how they once were. But there is also an acknowledgement that this hope is fading. She reflects on her own choices, the ones that have led her to this point. There's a bittersweet quality to her journey. She is not just exiting a relationship, she's stepping into a new identity. The tension within sister wives isn't confined to the relationships between Cody and his wives, but rather extends deeply into the interactions among the wives themselves. These women have been through a lot together, but the weight of their complicated relationships filled with jealousy, competition, and unmet emotional needs has taken a toll over the years. At the core of this tension is Robin, who, unfortunately, finds herself at the center of many of the conflicts within the family. Her relationship with Cody, which has been a source of contention, has created growing divides within the family. What once may have seemed like unity is now being tested in ways no one could have predicted. Robin, in particular, faces increasing resentment from the other wives, and it's palpable. They see her as a threat, and she feels the sting of their judgment. In many ways, Robin has become the focal point for the unraveling of the family structure. This situation is a direct reflection of the deeply ingrained issues in their polygamous system. The traditional expectations and roles that once seemed like the foundation of their family unit are now showing cracks. Robin is forced to defend her place in this family, but it's clear that as the tension grows, the foundation is shifting beneath them. Her struggle reflects a larger pattern where the wives' individual emotional needs are no longer being met in the same way. What seemed like a strong, unified family now feels like a distant memory, and the women are realizing that the traditional system that once worked for them is no longer serving their evolving needs. As Cody tries to assert his place as the patriarch, he finds himself at odds with the wives' increasing sense of autonomy. His desire to maintain control over the family dynamics clashes with their growing independence. What once felt like a cohesive family unit now feels fragmented, with everyone pulling in different directions. Each attempt Cody makes to hold onto his patriarchal role seems to push the wives further away, only exacerbating the emotional distance between them. The family's dream of unity and shared purpose now feels more like a distant, fading memory, and with each passing moment, the cracks in the family's foundation become more apparent. The struggle for control, trust, and emotional fulfillment is beginning to define their relationships in ways that none of them ever imagined. In this segment, we shift our focus from the external conflicts to the internal journeys of the individuals involved. This is where the concept of self discovery comes into play. Each member of the family is now forced to confront the emotional aftermath of their decisions and relationships. As they reflect on their experiences, they must deal with the weight of guilt, the sting of betrayal, and the excitement of new opportunities that lie ahead. The process of self exploration is both daunting and necessary for each of them. For the wives, this journey is about finding their individual identities outside the context of their shared lives with Cody. It's about learning to live for themselves and reclaiming their autonomy. The emotional weight of these transformations is palpable. What was once a shared family dynamic is now breaking apart, and each wife is faced with the daunting task of redefining who they are and what they want from life. It's an emotional roller coaster full of challenges, but also opportunities for growth and self realization. For many of these women, the relationships they had with Cody and each other have been the defining elements of their identities. But now, as they begin to break free from these traditional roles, they are forced to navigate the complexities of creating a new sense of self. This journey is not just about finding new relationships or redefining old ones. It's about shedding the layers of their past and embracing the uncertainty of the future with open arms. It's clear that, as uncertain as the future may seem, these women are resilient. They are carving out new identities for themselves, free from the expectations and limitations that once defined them. The road ahead may be unclear, but their journey towards independence, self worth, and personal fulfillment is inspiring. While the future may hold challenges, the strength and courage that these women are discovering within themselves will ultimately shape their paths forward. The self discovery process is not without its struggles, but it is ultimately the key to their personal growth and their ability to move forward with their lives.